All right. So we are back with another 6 views, and yeah, we got another special episode here, and another special guest. You know what I'm saying? A unique guest, not only in look but like in music and style. You know what I'm saying? Coming through with heavy drip today. You know what I'm saying? Straight off a LA trip.
Hell yeah.
So with no further ado, we have Dutch Revz in the motherfucking building.
Gang shit, Dutchy gang.
Dutch Revz got a touch, y'all.
Court. Couple ounces on the floor.
So, okay, welcome to the show. I see you going crazy online. Like, your Instagram is like 100K followers plus. You know, you got tracks like All Girls Are the Same remix, which is at 1.13 million.
If you're falling down, I can't make it better if I'm not around. I've been living life for hardly.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? On plays on SoundCloud. You got music with young Tory that's out there, and you just came back from LA, man. So just off top, how you feeling today, man?
Life is crazy, man. I feel good. I feel ready for 2019. I'm excited to drop some new music, some new videos. I just dropped my first merch line. My website just got put up. Like, I'm just ready to, you know, have fun this year and take my shit to the next level.
Dope, dope. And for people who are just tuning in now and they're seeing Dutch Rev, right? And who aren't familiar with you, what would you how would you describe yourself?
I mean, I'm a very emotional guy. My life revolves around, you know, my emotions. All my music revolves around my emotions. I just, you know, I live my life. I love my family. I love my friends. You know, I love just sitting in the studio for days writing music. Like, I don't really have much of an exciting lifestyle. Like, I just make music and chill with my family and chill with my friends.
Yeah, and even like from what I'm seeing, right? Like, you got a lot of people. You're at a rapid incline right now. You know what I'm saying? People are in your comments saying like you're the next to blow, and you're 21 years old.
Yeah, 21.
Wow. So, what's that experience being a 21-year-old and you got like a whole bunch of people waiting for your arrival, dog?
It's crazy because like I've been doing this shit for like 6-7 years. And I didn't really see any of that until like the past 3-4 months.
Okay.
So like it all really like hit me super quick, you know? Like at first it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like I don't even know what I thought. Like I just like didn't expect it all to come that fast.
Yeah.
It just keeps going up every single day, and like the support that I've been getting is crazy because, you know, for the first 5-6 years I was doing this shit, I had zero support. Like, even some of my family, like most of my friends, they're all gone now because no one was really supporting me. No one really believed that I could do this full time and I could really make something of this.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and like everything that I told myself that I could do is coming to life, and it feels crazy.
Dope. And even like from you explaining that there, right? You said for 6 years you're doing music and trying to get in this shit, and like over the last few months it started popping off.
Yeah.
What do you think was that turning point that made it start popping off?
Well, it's a lot to do. Like, my new team, they really helped me with my confidence. I went through like a lot of, you know, social anxiety, and, you know, I just didn't really like who I was as a person. And like lately I've been seeing a girl, and she's been really helping me build my confidence up and just like be my 100% self, and not really care what other people think. Like, a lot of people hate on me, and a lot of people, you know, tell me my fashion is fucking weird. They're calling me gay. They're calling me this and that. But I just learned to like be myself. Like, I'm a weirdo. That's me.
Yeah.
Accept it or don't, you know.
Yeah, and well, hey, I don't consider anything weird. I like to see unique styles,
exactly,
right? Because you got to understand, we're in an industry where a lot of people think doing the same shit is what is the thing to do.
Yeah, fuck that.
And they don't realize that the people who are different are actually the ones who excel.
Well, the thing about it is, like, anyone in the past who has started a trend, any kind of trend, whether it's a style of music, style of fashion, a fucking like anything, literally any single trend has started out as being like not accepted by the people. Like it took time for the people to accept it and like it, and then once another person starts copying it and doing the same shit, then another person does it, then another person does it, and that's how trends start. Like there's always one person at the start of a trend who gets shit on for it. You know, they get called names, they get called this and that, you know, because it's different. And people don't understand it. So it takes a little bit of time to really like get them to understand it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And let's go back a little bit. Growing up, right? Where did you grow up, first of all? Like
I didn't really grow up anywhere. Like I grew up all around like the GTA. But my family was moving around a lot. My parents got divorced when I was like 6.
Okay.
And after that, I moved in with my mom, and we were moving around probably once a year, once every 2 years. So like in that process, it was really hard for me because like making friends was like already a struggle for me. I was kind of like a weird kid, so I didn't really vibe with a lot of people. And then when I started moving around and all that shit, you know, it was before Facebook and all that stuff, so I didn't keep connection with any of my friends, so I would move around and I would lose my whole group of friends. Next year I would move around again, lose my group of friends. So like I kind of got to a place where I was like, fuck this, like this sucks having to say goodbye to everybody. So like I fell into this like phase of me just like not really caring, me not trying to make friends, because it was kind of just hard for me, you know, like having to just say bye and like get up and leave and have to start again, you know. So basically like I didn't really grow up anywhere, but I lived in, you know, Kitchener, I lived in Mississauga, I lived in Oakville, I lived in Orangeville, I lived in fucking bunch of places just all around the GTA. I never actually lived into Toronto until I moved out of my parents' house when I was like 17. And then I moved straight to Toronto. It was always my dream to live in Toronto, but my parents never wanted to, so
So even before I get to my next question, because I wanted to know like how you started with the music, but you brought me to another question with just coming into Toronto, being 21 over the last 4 years. What's that experience like?
I mean, I love Toronto. In the summer it's amazing because it's actually nice weather, but the cold weather really fucks me up. So like I get into like super deep winter depression, because I hate the cold, so I end up just staying inside constantly, and that's not healthy for anybody. So it's kind of hard for me to stay in Toronto in the winter. Like last winter I was literally contemplating quitting making music because I went through a phase where I was just like super unsure of myself, super unsure of where I want to go with the music, and literally I didn't write music for 3-4 months. So it was really stressful for me because my like the way that I cope with life and struggle is writing my music, you know. So it was hard for me in that stage because I literally couldn't do it. So I didn't know how to put my feelings into songs. So I went through literally 3-4 months of me just saying like, fuck, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't know if this shit's right for me. And I'm also a producer and engineer, and that's what I was doing for money for the past 3-4 years. Like I've been doing engineering pretty much full time, just taking sessions with upcoming artists and, you know, paying the bills that way. But that is not even close to my goal in life. Like I don't enjoy sitting there pressing record, record, and you know, like it just sucks. It's not what I see for myself. I want to make my own music. I want to express myself. I can't express myself when I'm trying to help another artist get their own sound, you know, like that's not my goal. And like I'll always produce for other artists and stuff, but that's even that, like if I have a beat that I think would be a hit song, I'm gonna take it for myself. I'm not gonna give it to anyone else. I don't care who it is. Like if it's a hit, it's a hit. I'm keeping it for myself because at the end of the day, I don't I don't want to be relying on that shit. I just want to make music.
Like with over the years, right?
Wait, what? What's your password?
Over the years, like moving around and everything, and like you said that you were dealing with anxiety for a long time. What made you start doing music?
Well, I was in a family full of musicians. My dad is a singer-songwriter, and later on in his music career, he was in like bands and stuff. He was doing like tours all around the world, and like I seen that process. So I was always like, yo, like I want to do exactly what he does.
Okay.
Because
so,
I just
sorry to interrupt you. But is your dad somebody like who is your dad?
his name's Trevor Howard.
Okay.
He definitely got the most traction off of this band called Ghosts of Memphis. Y'all can look it up. I know
Ghosts of Memphis.
Yeah, they're super dope. But yeah, so my brother was also into music from a very young age. He was literally 2 years old, and he picked up pots and pans in the kitchen and, you know, spatulas and shit, and started drumming literally at 2 years old. So he just had the natural music gene in him. He started playing guitar and writing songs when he was like 10 years old. And then my mom is a classical pianist. Dope. And she's fucking crazy. She always tried to teach me, but I was stupid. I should have accepted it, but I was a kid, and I was like, I want to play guitar. Like, I didn't, you know, I didn't want to play piano. So yeah, I was always kind of not necessarily pressured. Like, they didn't personally pressure me, but just seeing all of them, like, they were all musical talented. I was like, yo, like, I want to be like them. But I would always try to sing in the car, or like sing at home. And like my brother would sometimes like laugh at me, like, you can't sing and stuff, like as he's 3 years older than me, just big brother shit. So like I kind of just thought I was the runt of the family. Like, I tried to drum on my brother's kit, like I was trash. I tried to play his guitars, I was trash. So I kind of never really tried anything until I think I was about 12 years old. And finally, like, I talked my mom into putting me into guitar lessons.
Okay.
So I got a guitar and started doing that, and I think like probably 2 or 3 weeks in, my guitar teacher walked out to my mom and was basically like, yo, like, I don't think this is for him. Like, he's not doing very well. He doesn't seem like he's enjoying it. He's clearly not practicing. Like, I was like kind of stressed. I didn't really like playing the guitar because I just thought I was bad. And then I think a couple months later, like after I stopped playing guitar, my brother got a bass guitar. And one day, like, I just picked it up and like started playing it, and like my brother looked at me, he's like, yo, that was sick, man. I was like, shit, okay, I'm gonna keep trying this. So I started playing bass and then started taking lessons for that. And the same teacher that taught me guitar, I went to him because he was sick at both bass and guitar. And he literally walked up to me and my mom and was like, yeah, so like, this is it, like, we found his instrument kind of thing. So I started playing bass for 4 or 5 years, and I loved it, but it still wasn't exactly like what I wanted to do. Like, I like to be, you know, noticed more. Like, I like to be like the spotlight. You know, I'm a narcissist like that.
And the bass guy is usually in the back there.
Oh, absolutely. like the drummer gets more attention than the bass player, you know? Like, the bass player is just the last man, you know? And like me and my brother, we had like a bunch of bands growing up and stuff. We would play like small little shows and whatnot. And like, I just noticed like I never really got like appreciated. So like, I don't know, I guess I stopped really caring too much about bass. And then when I was 15, I believe, that's when I heard Mac Miller. And when I heard Mac Miller, like before that, I was already listening to like, you know, 50 Cent and like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem. Like I heard all these rappers, but they were all talking about like hood stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So like I loved it. I loved hip hop, but I didn't fully relate to it because like I grew up, you know, in the suburbs and shit. I never had no bad experiences until later on, like when I moved to Toronto. So like I never fully related to hip hop, so I never thought, oh, I can do this, you know? So when I heard Mac Miller and I seen that there was a white kid from the suburbs just talking about like best day ever and Frick Park Market and like all this just like weird shit, you Classics. Know, I was like, yo, like hip hop like isn't just for hood people, you know? So that's when I started writing actual like lyrics and stuff. And then I guess in the process of me getting into hip hop, I started kind of getting back into my old music because I started using, you know, auto-tune and getting more confident with my singing voice. So once I was more confident with my singing voice, I started taking the auto-tune off and then like playing guitar and just like using that, and now I have literally so many different styles because I just found the confidence of my voice within hip-hop. Like when I heard, I think probably Travis Scott is when I started using auto-tune. Before that I was doing all old school like boom bap rap shit. Like I was super inspired by like J Dilla and like fucking Big L, Mobb Deep, you know, like that was my shit at the time. But then I heard Travis Scott and he kind of changed my outlook on new age rap, because I was one of those guys that was just like fuck new age rap. Like I didn't really like it that much.
It was like bars or nothing.
Yeah, I was like that for a while. I was super closed-minded, but then when I heard Travis Scott, I was like, yo, I'm gonna try that, like let's just see what happens. And then I started using auto-tune, making like kind of more trap music, and then yeah, now I'm here. Now I don't even know what to call my music. It's not trap music, it's not rock music, it's not fucking, I don't even know what it is.
It's just that,
it's
that
just
Dutch
something
drip,
new. It's something completely new.
How did you get the name Dutch Rev?
So Dutch is because I'm Dutch. My family is from the Netherlands. And the Revz part is short for revelations. So like revelations, I guess, is like a time in your life where you realize something like mind-blowing. So like I was kind of like thinking about words that I could use to like put after Dutch, because at first it was Young Dutch. I was like, this is whack, you know, like I don't want to have a Young or a Lil name, you know? So I was just like really thinking about it, and then I came up with Dutch Revelations. And then after a few months of typing that in every time that I say my name or saying Dutch Revelations, I realized it's way too long. So I just shortened it to Dutch Revz.
That's fucking amazing. So how was the first, like, and I guess because from what you described, you're not just making like one sort of like rap music or hip hop music, but how was the first of that? Because you know, you explained how you were playing songs with your brother in a band and stuff like that, but when you branched off on your own, how was that first song like?
I mean, fuck, I feel like it was very recent when I started mixing different genres into my music.
Keep driving, never park, Quick whip, quick start, Bitch with thick lips on my arm,
I kind of went through a phase for a couple years where I was copying a lot of artists, and not intentionally, but I realized like I'm a very influenced artist. Like if I listen to an artist for a week straight, when I go back to write in a week, I'm gonna write songs that sound similar, or like literally sometimes I've even caught myself like accidentally copying bars or copying flows or whatever. So after a while, I realized the only way that I could, you know, copy or, you know, take influence from an artist without getting shit on is if I take it from other genres and make it my own, you know, because if I'm making hip hop music and I'm influenced by hip hop music, it's gonna sound like the hip hop music I'm listening to.
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to fucking, you know, pop punk music, and then I put it into hip hop music, it's not gonna sound like that pop punk music.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, that's how I kind of look at influence.
Yeah, man, and it's that's really dope, man. It's and even with like your style, right? You got a different style than a lot of people. And back in the days, you even explain how you got flack from that and stuff. Like, what made you develop your fashion sense and sense of style that you have?
I mean, my dad is definitely a big influence. Like, I seen my dad growing up, he would be wearing, you know, girls' pants and fucking leather jackets and fucking, you know, he painted his nails, he wore makeup.
Yeah.
So, like, I seen from a very young age that, you know, having just, like, different fashion and standing out, like, it's the best thing to do as an artist. Because every single show my dad would have, he would get tons of compliments like, yo, you're so different, you have such cool fashion. So I think I was probably like 8, 9, 10 years old when I started kind of experimenting with my fashion. Like, I remember one specific time wearing fucking bell bottoms to school. And like, they were super tight all the way down my leg and they went out at the bottom. And like, I remember there was like a parade of kids behind me in the halls just fucking laughing at me, like like fucking whistling, like saying like, your ass looks nice and like all this shit. Like, they were just ripping me apart. And probably after that day, I was just like, yo, fuck this. Like, I don't want to be judged like this every day. This sucks. So after that, I started kind of dimming my fashion down and just like looking at what other people wore. I just started wearing, you know, t-shirts and boys jeans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I went through a phase in my life for probably 5 to 9, 10, like about 10 years probably, realistically. Like, I was just copying other people and just not being myself because I didn't want to get bullied anymore. And the way I acted with people too, like I tried to kind of compensate for, you know, the fact that I'm a super emotional, like feminine guy. You know, a lot of people don't show that side of themselves, and I didn't for a long time because I thought people would negatively judge me. So I just started acting like this cool guy trying to fit in, but at the same time, when you're not a genuine person, people still sense that, whether you're weird and yourself or super like normal and like acting cool, like both sides, I was still gonna get bullied. So like I wish I realized at a younger age that if I just stay myself and just said who cares, and I didn't fucking cry when people bully me and give them what they want, because at the end of the day, bullies, all they want is a reaction, and I gave them a reaction. So nowadays when people try to say shit to me, like I posted a fucking picture wearing a purse the other day on Instagram, you know, people were saying, people were saying,
I wear a purse, so what?
So what? Exactly. And that's just how I look at life. Like, so what? If people want to judge you, at the end of the day, a lot of the time they're just jealous because they don't have that confidence, you know? And the fact that people judge me and say like things about my sexuality based on how I dress is pretty funny, because I feel like those people are really insecure about their own sexuality at the end of the day. Because I'm happy in my skin, you know? I'm wearing a fucking girl shirt and girl's pants, but I got the hottest girlfriend in the world. I'm good, bro. I'm good.
And that's all that matters, as long as you're good within yourself.
Exactly.
Fuck what anybody else says.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I see that with a lot of different artists. Like, for example, Young Thug, he had the cover of his album Jeffrey, where he was wearing like the
dress,
the Christian Dior dress or something like that. It was a super expensive dress on top of that shit, and it had a lot of controversy. Right? So
Young Thug is the GOAT, by the way. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like, do you fuck with Young Thug's music?
Hell yes. Like, honestly, I think Young Thug is one of the biggest trap music inspirations that I have. Like probably him, Kanye, and Travis Scott would be top 3 for me in like the hip hop world.
Yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit. Tattoos. You got hella tats. Okay?
Yes, I do.
And for the people who know me well, I'm a tattoo guy myself, right? However, I haven't taken the steps to go neck, face, different things like that, right? So first question about tattoos. What's the first tattoo that you ever got?
The first one I got was Ambition. It's actually from Wale. Wale had a single called Ambition.
Okay.
And I really, like, I wasn't even, like, super duper into Wale. Just that one song itself, like, I listened to it on repeat for the longest time.
Yeah.
And, like, I guess it just, like, inspired me to just, like, I don't know, work hard with this music shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you started taking, so when did it start becoming an addiction to you?
Pretty much instantly.
Instantly, right?
Yeah, after the first one, I think I booked another one like a month later. My dad came with me for my first one because he's got lots of tattoos, and his wife is fucking covered head to toe.
Yeah.
So like my family is just super accepting with my tattoos. My mom doesn't have any though.
Okay.
But
so then you started taking the next steps, okay?
Yeah.
We're staying on tattoos for a minute.
Yeah.
You started taking the next steps because when you start covering past the neck, that's the step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not looking to get no regular job no more. I'm 100% in whatever the fuck I'm doing artistically, whether it's music, something visual, you know, some other visual art. You know what I'm saying? So when did you take the next step where you started going neck, hands, and then face?
I think I was late 17, early 18 when I first got my neck done. So I got it really, really early.
Yeah.
But basically, like how I looked at it is, first of all, I've never had a real job. Growing up, I would, you know, buy and sell shit just to make money. Like I went to a few interviews and shit, but my social anxiety always takes over when I'm in like nervous situations.
Yeah.
And like I just freeze up and like I can't act like myself. I'm getting better with it lately, but as a kid growing up, like it was really, really bad. So I went to a few different interviews at, you know, McDonald's and all that shit. Yeah. And after that, I just said, fuck this. Like, I hate feeling like this. I'm going to do everything I can to never have a job like this. So, I mean, I did the whole buy and sell shit. And then I had a couple, you know, under the table jobs with like, fucking, what's it called? Like doing lawns and like, you know what I mean, just bullshit jobs like that, paying me fucking $10 an hour. And then when I started making music, I put beats on YouTube and shit. And a couple of my beats, like the first one I made and put on YouTube, it hit like 500,000 views or some shit. It went crazy, and I sold like, I would say probably 400, 500 leases on it. Dope. And at the time I was charging, you know, $25, $30 for a lease. So like it added up a lot, and that made me realize like, yo, like I can just do music full time, you know? Yeah.
I might pull up in a Porsche, yeah. Skirt 500 horse, yeah. Hit the plug like a core.
Yeah.
So at that point, I started, you know, really pushing the beats on YouTube. And then I started engineering and charging. I think I was charging kids just like straight up a flat rate of $100 per song, which to me now sounds crazy because like I would never do flat rates anymore. Right. Because like sometimes a person could take 2 hours or 25 hours, you know, like you never really know how long they're going to take. So I can't do that shit anymore. But at the time, it was just like, oh, $100 here, $100 there. Like,
okay, so let's talk about life. Okay, let's bring that mic over a little bit.
Talk about life.
In just a short space of time, even with everything that we've gone through here, right? Your life seems to have changed like rapidly, right?
Never bored. Yeah. I keep keep the peace until it's war. Yeah, I might pull up in a Porsche, yeah.
What's the craziest thing that's happened so far with you? Through this music thing, going around, doing shows, doing it all, just getting out there into this world right now.
Fuck, the craziest thing that's happened.
Even within moving into Toronto in the last 3-4 years.
Honestly, it sounds weird, but just like finding like true happiness in like what I do every single day and the people I surround myself with, just like finding that like true happiness. Because honestly, my entire life, like I never really found that until very, very recently, and I became very negative about, you know, my life and everything. So now that it actually happened, it's like, damn, like this is crazy. Like I'm happy. I never thought I'd be happy, you know. So yeah, just finding happiness is the craziest thing to me.
Dope. And I see on Instagram, like about 2 months ago, you were in LA, you were with young Tory playing something called Human Darts.
Oh my god, yo,
real life nerd.
Yo, you're playing Human Darts, bitch. What?
Where you're literally throwing real darts into bodies, into the body of Jake.
Yeah, Jake Hillhouse.
Yeah.
That guy's hilarious. He's crazy. I want to do another video with him. We've been talking about doing some shit.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to come up with an idea that's just like even crazier than that. Cause like I love all that. Like I love Jackass and shit. So the fact that he's down to do anything is sick.
And how did that relationship with young Tory build?
We did a song called Change Me probably 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And at the time we didn't even really know each other personally yet. It was Kevin Rowley that hooked us up together, and
shout out Kevin Rowley.
Yeah, and he basically produced that song Change Me, and then he told young Tory, yo, this kid, my friend, he's really sick, he's next up, just take in this song. And I guess Tory heard the song and he hopped on it that night, and then we had a record. And then when I was chilling with Kevin, like Tory would be around recording, and we just built the relationship that way. Yeah.
And in your most recent trip to LA, you were spending some time with your girl, with a pink hair named Jane.
Yeah, Jane Cobain.
Right, and the picture caption on your IG, in love with Jane. So who is she, and how's this relationship built with you? Like, because you even explained it before, like how she has helped you to be able to get to like different levels of happiness and stuff.
Yeah, she not only just like makes me really happy, just like genuinely and like all the time, like just being around her makes me happy, but she's really helped me with like my mental health. She goes through mental health problems as well, so we talk about everything. She knows literally every single thing about my life, like shit that I don't tell my friends or my parents or like anything. Like she knows everything. And she's got super cool fashion sense. Like she's my little stylist now. We go shopping together and we spend way too much money. But she's just helped me become more comfortable in my own skin. Like she's helped me become more myself and just feel confident and feel attractive even. Like she just helps me kind of with everything.
Dope. And recently you were at the Raptors game courtside, and your track For a While started bumping, which is like a dream come true to a lot of people. So
yeah, it was
what was that
lit.
feeling like for you?
It was super lit. Just like being in the, wait, they don't call it the ACC anymore. The Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, like I remember just being in that arena as a kid, you know, in the fucking nosebleed seats. Yeah. And like it was equally as exciting back then, but just knowing that like I looked down back then and I saw all the celebrities courtside, you know what I mean? I heard them playing their music and stuff, and I probably always just had this like thing in the back of my head, like what would it feel like to be them, you know?
Yeah.
So now like I kind of got a little taste of what it feels like to be them.
Yeah, man. Like, you got a lot of things going on. Like, I saw you on YouTube with one of my favorite people, Adam22 from No Jumper. He reacted to your song and Instagram profile. At one point, he says, "Well, this kid is going to sign to Atlantic for $1 million." How'd you feel about that, man?
Well, like, I mean, we've been talking to labels and stuff. So, like, I already kind of knew that was the case, you know? It just felt really good to hear from someone like him. Like, he's very influential on the culture, and he knows what he's fucking talking about. So when he said that, I was just like, damn, like, this shit's actually real. Like, if he believes I'm gonna get signed, then I must be getting signed, you know?
Yeah.
But $1 million isn't enough.
Yeah. They're gonna have to come with a bigger bag than that.
Not enough.
Yeah, man.
I got a big team. We got a lot of mouths to feed.
Listen, a lot of people don't realize $1 million isn't a lot of money, man.
It's not.
Last couple questions here. I also see you recently posted on your IG, happiness is more important than money. So what inspired that, and what made you feel that? What makes you feel that way?
I mean, I'm in a phase where I really have to start making a lot of decisions based on either or, happiness or money, you know? Like, I may get into a situation where a lot of money is involved, but maybe I'm not exactly happy.
Yeah.
And then I always have the other option, less money, more happiness. I would pick less money and more happiness every single time, especially now that I've finally experienced genuine, pure happiness, and it feels better than anything.
Off-brand question. Would you rather be a superhero or a supervillain?
I mean, I was at a time in my life before that I probably would have picked to be a villain, because I was very negative for a lot of my life. But now that I have, you know, a lot of kids following me, a lot of kids looking up to me and stuff, like, I kind of always feel like, or I already feel kind of like a superhero, because like all these kids look up to me and I can say anything and do anything and they'll probably follow me, you know. And as an artist, you have this option. You can spread negativity or you can spread positivity.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, they spread negativity because it's, you know, better for publicity or whatever, because, you know, the world loves negative shit. You watch the news, how often do you fucking hear about positive shit? Not very often, right?
This is true.
So, like, the world reacts more to negativity, but I think you can have more of a, you know, long career and people will just overall respect you more if you spread positivity and you help people and you, you know, like one of the biggest things that I speak about in my music, and like when fans message me, I'll always just talk about the fact that I went through a long time in my life of not being myself, and now I'm myself, and it feels better than anything. Like, you can't be happy unless you're happy in your own skin. If you aren't happy with who you are and what you do every single day, then you can't be happy. It's just simple.
Yeah.
You have to worry about yourself before you worry about anything. Like, but before I was happy, I tried to be in relationships with girls and stuff, and it never worked out because I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not happy and you're not confident with yourself, then nothing works out. Literally nothing works out.
Facts.
So, yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? Fuck. It sounds hypocritical, but just when people aren't themselves, when people act a certain way to impress people. And I went through a long time where I was doing that, so it's super hypocritical, but I just want to spread the message that that's not going to get anybody anywhere.
Yeah. And for, like, you got a lot of different people on IG, different people, like, when you pop up on live and stuff, and just a lot of people who are engaged with what you're doing, period. So for all like the younger cats than you, right? Like the 13-year-olds, 14, 15, 16. What advice do you have for them? For any of them who are artists who want to get into this business?
I mean, it all goes into the same thing. Like, just be yourself. Like, if you listen to, you know, my music, I don't exactly talk about, you know, similar topics to other rappers or anything. I just make my own kind of style with my music because that's me.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I wasn't doing that. I was just, you know, writing songs about, you know, disrespecting girls and going to the club and, you know, doing drugs and shit. But like, that wasn't me. That's not the messages that I want to spread. I'm a super emotional guy. I fucking love my girlfriend, you know. I love my family. Like, why not put all that shit into my music?
Yeah.
You know?
What does Dutch Revz want to be remembered for?
Just helping people. I love helping people. I love making people feel happy. Like, I like to cook. I love cooking. So, like, one of my favorite things in the world is, like, when I cook a nice meal for my family or for one of my friends and they're sitting there, like, eating. Like, I haven't even started making my own plate yet, and I'm, like, watching them and, like, to see their reaction and see that I made them happy, that fills me with happiness. Like, I just love seeing that my energy and my, like, something that I did for somebody makes them happy. So
Dope.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it's a really engaging conversation that we've had here with you, man. You got a lot of things going on and a lot of things on the rise to come for the future. Even just from this conversation that I've had with you, before research, like, we've learned a lot about you during this conversation that I really feel that you have a serious trajectory coming. You know what I'm saying? And I look out for really big things for you in the future, dog. So thank you for coming through, man.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Dutch Revz in the motherfucking building.
Gang shit. Life's crazy, man.
6 views.
Gang.
Hey, how y'all doing? Don't forget to like and leave your comments below. And if you like videos like this, as well as others on our channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the notification bell so you'll know when we're dropping new videos daily.